All right, we're back. And I have a special video for everyone here. I'm going to go over my thought process when I'm in a trade and what I'm looking at and how I'm reading level two. And so right now I want to show you a couple things before I show you the live video of my position and commentate my thought process, because I couldn't see the higher lows in the candle on the video. So I want to be able to show you it here. So I had a couple trades on this. I had one early on that I nailed for good size right here before the close. I saw this pop up. I saw it start to grind, and I took a position, and that was one of the trades I made. Now I saw it start to get heavy here, under 5, so I did scale out. I probably scaled some out here, and then saw a dip. It popped again, scaled more out, and then I re-entered. I took more trades in here and scaled out over 5 breaks because there's a lot of topping tails, and took quite a few trades on it. The one that I recorded, I wasn't planning on it. I was just kind of sitting in this trade, and I was like, you know what? A lot of people have been asking me about level 2 reading. They want me to record a trade. So I wanted to be able, I was like, you know, let me record this. That way I can go over it. And it's a more patient play anyways. And so here we are. So first thing I want to go over with this. My entry was 592. Might have been a little under. My entry was right here. And if you see, this is holding the 1 minute 9 EMA perfectly. Okay, so it's just grinding and it's extremely bullish. Now, part of me was a little hesitant because there were a couple other movers. What was the other one? I think it was PTPI that was popping after hours. Yeah, right here. So PTPI had a strong move. And so it's easy to have the thesis that, hey, we've seen after hour runners lately that have gone crazy. We're probably going to see another, right? So we saw ELOX yesterday. It went from $7. So it had a strong move, consolidated, then this zombie squeeze after hours. The day before we had GDTC, which went crazy. And we've had these micro floats that have gone nuts. PWM. And this was an IPO. PWM was a 1 mil float IPO. I've talked about this multiple times now, and it went 500%. But if you look at day one did exactly what SXTP did today. Nothing. And then after hours takes off. And this thing runs, this is day one of IPO, runs, you're not getting out in this candle, but it runs up to 226%. It runs up to 150% cleanly. So between the theme that we've been seeing with all of the micro float runners and this IPO runner that we just recently had, and this is another, I think it's sub 2 mil IPO float. I am thinking that we're going to see continuation, and I like it a little more. It's a blue sky setup, right? This is a fresh play. There are no resistance levels that shorts are able to risk off of. So that, coupled with the theme we've been seeing with massive short squeezes, we had PRFX, which made a move from $4 all the way to 26 in one day, and that was yesterday. So with this theme that we've been seeing, I liked it. And so I'm here and I'm trading, and let's get into the live video now. Oh, you know what? Give me 1 second. So first I want to go over something. I take this trade I think right here. So I might have missed this first one. I see it soak off here. This second one I'm starting to add into. And my average price is 592. And it's holding this trend perfectly. It's at all-time highs. It's clean so far. And so that's what I'm looking at. And on the 5 minute, unfortunately, I love the 5 minute. On the 5 minute, unfortunately, it wasn't the best risk. Okay? Because what you want to look for when you're looking at momentum, price action is, you're pretty much just looking for whether or not it's going to break the previous candle's lows or highs. When you get on a high enough time frame, it's that simple. Now, you have patterns within patterns and multi-time frame alignment, but when you get a clean setup, if you look at this 5 minute here, this green candle, the low is, and you'll see me keep checking these. The low is 468, the high is 544. Next candle, the low is 501. It doesn't break under this low, previous candle low. Next candle, same thing, doesn't break the previous candle low. Next candle, next candle. Now you have that pattern, which is a symmetrical triangle right here on the 5 minute, right? It's an inside candle, another inside candle. And everybody's looking here to see, is this next candle going to break the previous candle's lows? And I'm doing the same thing. So that's what I'm looking for. So 592, the risk wasn't great. And so what I was hoping for here, and I'm kind of just trading the momentum, I could have risked this right here, the previous 1 minute, which, I mean, it's not great because it's a lot choppier on a 1 minute. You see it'll break the lows, come down, you know, up, down, and it'll do that. On a higher time frame, it's much cleaner. If you look at a 15 minute, same thing. It's just cleaner. Right here, you could have taken this first 15-minute candle to make a new high, and then it never looks back. And your entry's right here at 415, and you wouldn't have gotten stopped out until here, right? You would have made 50%. Now, I don't always trade like that because they're not always this clean. And when you're trading for a while, you keep switching things up. It's like you almost know too much, and so you're anticipating too much. But this one, I was already in the money, and I was like, you know what? I like this. And I, in the back of my head, I'm thinking this could go 10 plus. Didn't end up doing it, but it had that potential. It's a micro floater, recent IPO, blue skies. This could easily go 10 plus. PWM, people are remembering. And so I have that in the back of my head, and I'm trying to hold on. Now, what ends up happening is I'm moving my stop loss up. So I got in 592, and you'll see the position over here. Got in at 592, and I'm watching these 5 minute candles, and I'm watching level 2. And so I'm looking at the 5 minute, I should say I'm watching level 2. I'm looking at the 5 minute candles just to see and keep looking at, okay, what's the low, what's the high, what's the low, what's the high. And I'm just trying to stay focused. And so the low was 5 of this candle that I entered on. The low was 568. So 24 cents is my stop, essentially. Then the next candle, guess what? Doesn't stop me out because the low is 577. So perfect. That's price action. Doesn't stop me out. Next candle, I'm loving this because it's just getting tighter and tighter, and I have conviction, and I have a clear stop. So now my new stop's 577. Next candle, it doesn't stop me out at 577. It holds up, and it closes strong. It closes up here towards the high. So now guess what? Shorts have to stop out. So anybody, well, first off, if you're shorting this, I mean, I think that's kind of crazy with how the market's been lately, but to each their own. But now you're stopping out, right? Because now it's breaking out. So if you look here, it's the high over here it goes the same way this way. The high is 650. This closed at 640. This next candle opens up. You have a tiny micro pullback, and then you have that break. All right. And this whole time, I'm just risking the low of the previous candle, 5 minute candle. And it's that simple. Now, part of me wanted to stop out break even. Part of me wanted to stop out 592 because I was already green. I didn't want to take a loss. I was like, there's no point in taking a loss. But I knew I chased that entry a little bit, and I should use price action as my stop. Because if I end up stopping out, and look right here, it pulls back to 580. So if I end up stopping out break even at 592, I'm stopping out here, but it didn't break the previous candle, right? Wherever that is. Let me see right here, 1620. Yeah, so this is the candle. It didn't break this previous candle. So if I have my stop at break even just for my profits and not actually looking at price action, I stop out on this candle here, and then it runs, and then I'm ticked, right? So that's why I said, you know what? I'll take a little bit of a loss on it if it happens. I want to use that previous candle. I really like this. And it ends up running. Let me pull up the video because I'm talking longer than I wanted to here. This static will go away. I smartened up and muted my mic like a minute in. So if you see here, look in the top left, my position 59,000, 9,000 quantity. My open P&L is about 6 grand right here. So I'm already green, 6 grand. These candles already happened. I just explained that whole progression of my entry right here, almost getting stopped out here, following price action and letting it go. All right. I have my hand on the sell here. Why? Because I don't want this to be a false breakout. So I'm watching this to make sure, hey, it doesn't break these levels like it should, just broke highs, and then just completely reject. Because right now it's already 30, 40 cents off of that high, and I'm reading level 2. I want to make sure if a ton of selling comes in, I'm there watching this. So I have my hand there, okay? Look at this. You see this selling? So I'm watching this, and now look at this candle. This almost looks like it's going to be a false breakout. And if you're not good at reading level 2, you might just be looking at this candle and you might be saying, I got to get out. This is a false breakout. This is a, whatever it's called, a topping tail. But it's fine. Usually false breakouts are going to be much quicker. And when you see that it kind of keeps holding up in this zone, then you're fine. And I'm so far in the green that at this point I'm like, no, I still like this. Maybe this is profit taking. Maybe this is shorts hammering it, which I don't know why they would, but I'm still there. It wasn't a big enough sell off. It was fine. It's kind of right here, still hovering right at, I checked the 15-minute too, to look at 15-minute price action. It's still 568 because it was within those, within that 5-minute period still. The 3 5 minutes were. So I'm just trying to figure out a good risk off level. I'm going back and forth. I'm like, should I move my risk? Should I keep it? Should I take some profit here? That's 6,000. Looks really good. But I don't quite yet. All right, I keep watching level 2. All right, this is what you're reading. So level 2, this is the most important thing that I look at for trading. And I'm going to do more videos on this, but this is why I wanted to do this video. This is the most important thing. When you get to the level where you're watching this and not this as much, then you'll be able to tell the story of what's going on. You'll almost be able to see what the algorithms are doing, what the buyers, what the shorts, what's going on here, what wants to happen. And at the top, you're also looking at the time. So if you look at the time, what ends up happening is at the end of the 5-minute, that's when most of the volatility happens. And that's when the real move happens. During the first 4.5 minutes, you're seeing all the nonsense. You're seeing all the chop like that early on that looked like a false breakout. It held up. That could have faked out shorts. It could have faked out longs. Look at this last 10 seconds. This last 10 seconds, it's back at its highs. We're about to get a 5-minute candle close here up at the highs, which is beautiful. You'll get a quick micro dip. And then you're hoping, now you're looking at price action again. Whatever this new candle is, okay, look, I look at it. Low is 630, high is 685. If it breaks 630, I can stop out and I'm ready for it. And I make a good amount. And that's just price action. Now, part of me was 50-50 because I saw this 5-minute 9 EMA moving up as well. And I'm like, okay, well, it could pull back a little bit. You know, it's not super extended off of it, but could pull back some. So, but I'm watching this. If this 630 breaks, I am probably looking to sell, probably looking to take at least half off, take some profit. And so I'm watching. Down here. This is all I'm watching. I'm not watching this anymore. I already know what level I'm looking for. I'm watching this. This gets so close. I think the bid drops below 630, but the ask stays above. So the candle shows that it actually does not break under 630. I really thought that this thing could have went 10 plus. I was hoping for it. Still just watching level 2. Look at this. I'm ready. I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to scale out. And now my P&L is all the way down to 3,000. It's fine. Not a big deal. I was already at, probably 25 or 30,000 at this point anyways. Probably closer to 33 with this open P&L. So look, bid falls under and I'm like, okay, I'm watching it. Look, you see me over here? Hold on. Let me look. I look. Is it showing right here? 630. Nope. It's still 630. Still 630. I'm watching this like a hawk because if that shows it goes under, then I'm out. It doesn't. The candle never closes under or goes below 630. And so I'm in this whole time. It keeps me in. But this is all I'm looking at. Get ready too. Look, you see that? Look at that $28,000 bid or 28,000 share bid. Look, I'm going crazy. 28,000 shares. Okay? Almost 30,000 shares on this. Somebody just put in a massive order. Some algo, some person. So now I have support. So now look, we're sitting pretty because I don't need to sell. I have a support right there. If I see that start to get chopped up or something, or I see it get pulled, I can sell. I can get out. Now I have bid support. Now we're looking great. Now we're so in the money. 7, 8 grand. Look at that. Look at that P&L. And that's just basic price action. There's nothing fancy here. This is all I'm thinking when I'm doing this. Now this gets interesting. Now I'm thinking, okay, there was a big bid there. Did the bid disappear? Why is there so much selling pressure here? If the algo put in that bid and the algo's trying to walk this up, the buying algo, why now did it just reject that hard? Was it, some fake bid? What was it? What's going on here? And so I'm watching and I want to make sure that this algo didn't just pull its bid. And so I'm focused. But look, now more bids are coming in. You see all this selling, the red coming through on the tape, but it's holding up and the bid's actually moving up. And so that's what you're looking for. The bid is support. So somebody just put in a big bid there. It's support, right? And it pops up. And the algo trips. It immediately pops up. It goes up 40, 50 cents a share. Now, we're starting. I drew out these support and resistance lines over here on the right because we're seeing that it's going sideways and it's not able to candle close over this level. And I see support here as well. So now I'm starting to see as this is building, we're hitting some kind of resistance here. I don't know if there's a seller or what, but we're hitting this same level and it's not going. So some big short or some big seller might have a big order up here. That's what I'm thinking. And guess what? Get ready. Watch this level 2 over here. Okay? This is the ask. So this is where a seller would put their order. We're hitting this random resistance. There's no resistance levels to the left. This is a blue sky setup. This is all-time highs. This was a recent IPO. Watch. Watch this. First off, you see these orders come in. You can see kind of what the algo is doing. They start to try to stack it here. Look, get ready. Breaks this level, and I'm thinking, okay, we might be in the clear. We might actually be good. I think I might have been wrong. Uh-oh, is it going to be a false breakout here? This was a clear resistance level that just for some reason struggled to break multiple times. Is this going to be a false breakout over this resistance level? Finger on the sell. Have it ready. It's not doing too bad yet. It's still kind of at that 680 level or right above it. Just watching. This is where my eyes are glued. Boom! Let me pause that. Where the heck did that go? Right here. And I start freaking out. That is 118,000 share sell order. That is over a $700,000 position that somebody is looking to sell. Whether it's a short, whether it's a short algo, whether it's whatever it is, there is sell pressure right here. So I see this and I'm like, okay, there could just be a big long in here trying to get out. That doesn't make as much sense because I don't know why a big long would show this big of an order to scare longs that are in it instead of scaling out lightly on the way up. So typically that wouldn't be a long that's trying to sell. So whether there's some type of short in here that is trying to show sell pressure, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is that there is a huge sell order right here, which is resistance, massive resistance. Just like we saw that bid support and this come up, this is resistance. Now, what I want to see and what I wait for, why I don't sell necessarily, let me see. I don't think, let me see where I sell. I might be getting ready to sell some in case this is a false breakout. Yep. So I sold some there just in case this is a false breakout because I knew that for some reason there was resistance there. Okay. So I sold some before I even saw that huge seller. I sold some because this kept rejecting and now this is there, but it's struggling. With a sub 2 mil float stock at blue skies, it shouldn't be struggling this much. When you get through a key level, this thing should go 6, it should go 7, 725, 750, and it should start moving a lot faster. So when I see this struggling this much right here, I'm thinking, all right, I should take some profits, and I take 3,000 off. So I take, a chunk off there, and then then this massive seller comes in. I don't know where this guy came from. Look at this. I'm looking at that. I don't think right away. Maybe I sell some more. I know I don't sell the full position, but I might take some off. Okay. Okay, so here's why I didn't sell yet. Some of you might be thinking, hey, that's a huge sell order. Why aren't you scaling out right now as soon as you see that? That is resistance. What if this thing comes straight down? The reason I'm not is because algorithms play games. Algorithms play games, and they'll put in these bids, they'll put in these sells to show weakness or show strength, right? And so if this algo here is just, somebody has a big position short and they're just trying to show, that more sell pressure and they just start showing it here, then they're hoping that it'll scare other traders out of their positions. All right. And so I want to make sure that this is legit and that they actually are trying to short this here and fill these shares. Because if they're not and they pull this thing will go. It'll go so strong. All right. So let's see. That's why I wait a little bit. I want to see what's going to happen. And then it tests it again. And then I see it's still not breaking, that the order's still there. And I'll start scaling more out. And look, I'm freaking out because I'm trying to tell you guys that that's what I'm looking for on these. Now, sometimes it won't be that obvious. There won't just be these massive positions there. But this is where all the magic is. This is where the story is. This is exactly where the algos are battling, what's happening, where they're putting in orders, where's the support, where's the resistance. This is what you're looking at. So as soon as you know key levels, you use the chart to look at key levels. As soon as you know those, you have those in your head. Now you're looking here to see how it's reacting around those levels. This is what you want to see whether it validates your thought process or not. So I have my hand on the sell now because I'm like, all right, if this is a real order here, and algos aren't just playing games, then I need to just start scaling out because that's so much resistance. I don't want to be holding if this thing knifes. And I don't get the best fills. I wait longer than I probably should have, but I think I was just so far in the money that I was like, all right, it's all right. Still just waiting, just making sure. More sellers. I'm just showing more selling pressure there. And then I start scaling this out all the way. And you saw how that there was a big bid there and then it just disappeared. Whether it got eaten up or they just pulled it, it disappeared. And now look. Some bids start to come in. I'm watching. But what ends up happening here yeah, there's me posting my day. All right, come on. And then I can't figure out how to get rid of it. All right, let's move up. Move up. So it ends up, now look. Oh, I don't have the, okay. It holds this previous 5-minute candle. Okay? It holds the previous 5-minute candle low. So I'm still watching this. Just in case this reclaims and it shows strength and it gets through for a possible re-entry. I don't end up taking one, I don't think. But that's what I'm looking for. And what this ends up doing is the seller walks it down. And it gets walked down, and then eventually gets bought up. Let me just pull. So right here. So that was this right here. That was all this. It rejects right here. This ends up closing green. This is the candle that it didn't break. So previous low is 630. This stops at 634. Next candle, this 7 can't break. So I'm watching this, and I might have had my hand on the buy order. Let me see. Do I have? Where is? Ah, okay. We have some more footage. So look at this now. We're right here. I have my hand ready to buy again. In case this breaks that 7, in case that seller is gone. Seller's still there. But it did get chopped down a little, so I'm watching. If this starts to go, that's 87,000 shares. If it starts to go 60,000, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, I'll start punching this in. Starts thinning up. It starts getting bought up. I'll do that. So I have my hand on the trigger ready to go. It doesn't. And let's see. Then look at this. So this is, I think we said it was 634 was the low on that candle. You see it rejecting, rejecting. Now look. You have 10 seconds left. This candle is about to close red. Okay, the low is probably, 660s, whatever it is right there. 10 seconds up here, it's going to close this 5-minute candle. Close red candle, and we have this resistance here at 7. And now guess what? The next candle opens. Breaks under. Breaks the previous candle low. Now look what happens. Look at this. Seller, big seller, just walking this thing down. Boom. Look at this. Tons and tons of selling. Look at that. All that selling, all that red on the tape. Now it's down sub 6, and that happens so fast. So quick. Just red, red, red. Now it does end up actually making a secondary move. So you see it has this big sell-off, soaks up a little bit here, holds up, and then it actually breaks through that 7 and runs a little bit. Now it doesn't go much higher, and here's where it's at right now. But that's level 2 reading. That's all I do. That's where my eyes are glued. After I'm looking at the price action of where these higher time frames are, the candles are closing, then I'm glued here and I'm watching to see what is going on. What is the algo doing? What are people doing? What is, what is the story? Where does this ticker want to go? And you have your risk. So I do have my risk where I know I'm going to cut it for a loss, and I'm ready. I have my finger there. It just doesn't come. And so that's it. And I'll do more videos on level 2, but I just wanted to throw that out there because a lot of you guys were asking, and I do want to get more educational content, not just the recaps, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity to do that. So I hope you enjoyed. Sorry it was a half an hour long, but I hope you got some value out of that, because that is what I do. That is all I do. When I'm looking to enter trades, when I'm looking to exit trades, I am just glued here. I'll look at this a little bit, but only to see if there's a pattern or something setting up. And then this is where I am glued here, right here, level 2. And like I said, I'll get into more depth later on in future videos, but that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the 2 videos today. 38,000 green. Hope you guys, stayed green. It was a choppy day, so I definitely could have seen myself going red, but we weren't. And we are back at it tomorrow. All right. Well, that's all for today. And have a good one. We'll be back at it, I think, tomorrow. I don't know yet if I'm going to trade. I have a busy day, but we will see. All right. Take care.